Welcome back, everybody. In this step we're going to be using our paintbrushes. Hopefully you'll have one larger brush and one smaller brush and a little tray of paints that you and your partner can share. We'll also have some water available on your table. What we're going to do first is think about the color that you want for the base of your pumpkin. Everybody will use white to help with the base of their pumpkin and one other color. My suggestion is either to stick with an orange, so a white and an orange, or either a white and a turquoise. At this time, what I'm going to do is take my larger brush, and I want to take a little bit of the color that I pick, which for me will be orange. I'm going to pick up a little bit, and I'm going to put some of it in the center. At the same time, with my same brush, I'm going to pick up a little bit of white off the side. Not to get the whole thing dirty, but just pick up a little bit. I'm going to let these two colors, the orange and the white, mix ever so softly as I spread them out, and I'm going to give myself a nice coat of paint. Go ahead and try to touch all of the parts of the pumpkin with this color that you make. If you need to do it again, go into a section, pick up a little bit of your base color, and then a little bit of your white. Kind of pat the two of them together, and then gently spread them out inside what you just drew. So here you can see how I'm covering that pumpkin, and I'm putting a lot of color, just a base color, going right all the way up to my pencil line and pulling it out. Perfect. And you don't have to get all the way close because we are going to go back in the edges and add a few more things. So this is my base color. Remember, some of you may have the turquoise with the white or the orange. Okay, now once you get your base color in and your pumpkin is wet, we're going to use this same brush again. And for those of you with a turquoise pumpkin or either the orange, this will work fine. We're going to pick up a little bit of our yellow, and we're going to go right here to the center of the first piece and put a little bit of our highlight. And we're going to repeat that on each piece of the pumpkin. So here's a little bright highlight. This is the highest part of the curve of the pumpkin. So you just need a little bit of yellow here with that. Ooh, that looks very pretty. Putting that right in there. Love that. Okay, and now once we've got that color in, let's go to the darker version of our same color. So remember, we mixed the white originally, but we can still keep our brush. We don't necessarily need water. And we're going to pick our base color up, and we're going to bring our base color in and put it around the edges and blend it just a little bit more. So this is our darker area. I'm going to blend it, but I'm not going to cover up what I've done. I'm just going to kind of layer it. Notice how I'm pulling it in, I'm dipping it, I'm pulling it in, going right next to that line that you drew, and you're putting in the darker color. Remember, this is on the outer edge of each section, so the outer edge because it's the darker area. Perfect. I love that. And as you pull around, you might notice that you just want to smooth it out a little bit more and just keep working with it. But remember to leave your section. So you've got now 3 shades on that brush, which is really, really great. And I think that looks good. If you get to the end and you notice that yours is full, if you want to add just a little touch, you can put a touch of your white here right on top of that yellow to give yourself a little streak or a little highlight, blend it in softly on the top of the yellow. That gives you a good base color. And that required none of our water to be used. Once you're finished though with your pumpkin, then we're going to lay our brush in the water. So I'm going to take it now after I've smoothed out what I've got here. I'm going to lay that in the water. And I want us to look at our background before we do our details. For this section, you will have a little choice of color in your tray. I'm going to choose one here, and that's up to you. But choose your color wisely. Remember, you wouldn't pick orange for your background if you made an orange pumpkin, because those two would not go together well. But you would choose maybe the turquoise or purple which would work well in there. So I'll have some colors out for you to make some good choices. All right, you can use your same brush if you like, if you want to rinse it and put it on your napkin, or you can choose your smaller brush. I'm going to go ahead and start by picking one of my colors, and I'm going to draw where I want my pumpkin to sit. So this is going to be the background area. So I'm going to draw a line here with my paintbrush, and I'm going to put a little bit of my color across. Now take this color as you get it, and you're going to take and rub under the pumpkin, just like the pumpkin was sitting on a table. And you're going to rub in a left to right fashion. There we go. Perfect. Under the bottom of the pumpkin, make sure that you take your brush and do the corners. They're very important. You need to do the corners and the edges of this piece with whatever color you pick for your bottom area right here. That looks really good, and it keeps it flowing back and forth. Now if you have a little tiny bit of white left, you can always touch a little bit of it and rub it into your color to give you a little bit more smoothness. Notice how I've got just a little bit of this purple, picked up a little drop of white, and it gives me a nice color contrast here at the bottom with my pumpkin sitting on that table. I love that. So this is our table section, and everybody should have that color kind of picked out. Right. Now once you get that area done, then you can either rinse your brush or choose your other brush, but we need to choose a color for the top of our picture. And for the top of our picture, that is our background color. You're going to choose one after you've cleaned your brush and dip into that color, and this time I want you to practice a little choppy background. And these are really fun to do, especially if you add a little bit of color together. So if I take a little drop of my white and put it with my turquoise here, then I can make a beautiful background that doesn't just look plain, but it actually looks textured. And it shows me that I can have a beautiful background on a canvas by using two different colors of paint. So you're going to pull and chop and pull and chop. And what's going to happen is these colors actually mix together as you're chopping them. And you can leave them a little splotchy if you need to on the edges, which looks really good as you pull it around. And it helps you to really notice how pretty your backgrounds can be. So feel free to grab that color, add a little white like you did, but try not to make it smooth like the tabletop, but rather choppy. So I'm going to go around this edge of this pumpkin, and then I'm going to chop in the rest of it. And this is something that makes your picture look great, and also shows that you can practice different textures as well. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, so this is the main part of our pumpkin. I'm going to let this part dry for just a moment, and then I'll be right back with you and we will do a little bit of detail.